So first of all, drain. What is drainage? Like there are two parts in the earth, landforms and the water bodies. So landform will never drain, the water body will drain. And this water body in a particular, the one form is river. So river is flowing, that is known as the drainage system of a country. So let me tell you, it is not in a country, it is everywhere in the world, like Amazon, like Nile, like Ganga, and many other rivers are there, and like the lakes, many things are there, so don't go deep in that. But first of all, let me tell you that what will happen if we talk about Ganga. So Ganga is a water, so it might have any tributaries, the deltas, and it might be there's big obstacle which the river having crossed off, and the big obstacle I'm talking about, not a small obstacle, because the river once again joined at the same point. So yes, of course. So this is something which is happening in the river. But what we will talk about it, now we will talk about somewhere is tributary, somewhere is delta. So that will be a huge time taking things. So we have given a single name that is known as drainage system. So this drainage system, now when the drainage system, so what is drainage system? Drainage system, are flowing of a river? Yes, of course. The flowing of a river is known as the drainage system. Means any part of the country which is covered by the river which is flowing back to back, like Ganga and like Brahmaputra, and one of the we can say Narmada. So that is the river, and this river system whole is known as the drainage system. So drainage system is also divided into drainage basin. What is drainage basin? The single river, like I have told you, obstacles, the tributaries, the deltas, whatever it has been there. So that single river is known as this river basin, means the river basin. The single property or the property of a single river is known as the river basin. Now next is the inland drainage. The next topic comes which is very important, that is inland drainage. Inland drainage क्या है? अब सबसे पहले यही क्वेश्चन उठेगा, inland drainage क्या है? अब मैं हिंदी में आ गया, like ऐसे ही मेरे साथ होता है. I didn't know in my video मैं कब इंग्लिश में आ गया कब हिंदी में आ गया. So let's see. I work according to my comfort zone. What is my comfort zone? So let's see. Inland drainage क्या है? Inland drainage है जैसे कि कोई भी river अपने ending point तक ना पहुंच पाए. The river which doesn't reaches to its ending point. Like for an example, like Luni. Luni is a river which is located in the Rajasthan, and that river has no ending point. I have read it in, according to me, in the third desert, in the desert type of physical feature of a country. And in that river is very small and does not have any ending point. But when we talk about the Narmada river, when we talk about the Ganga river, when we talk about the Brahmaputra river, it is having an ending point. That is like Ganga river having an ending point at Bay of Bengal. Like Narmada is having the ending point at Arabian Sea. Remember, there are two rivers, that is Narmada and Tapi, which is flowing in the Arabian Sea. But else, all the river which is located at the downside, means we can say at the Deccan side, whatever the river is, it is flowing in the Bay of Bengal. So we can say only two rivers except Narmada and Tapi, everyone is flowing in the Bay of Bengal. So for an example, don't think I am not going to be serious in this. So please, many don't think like that. Like just think about it. If Bihar was a desert area, like Rajasthan, like Bihar was there. So if Ganga flows there, and what will happen? There is a very hot day, and the river has been emptied. So it might have an ending point. Yes, of course, it will not flow to the ending point. So that is known as inland drainage. Inland drainage means the river doesn't reaches to its ending point. So that is known as inland drainage. For if you get a proper line for it, if you want to this proper line, you go to line in a proper line. So that is around that river system which doesn't reaches to its ending point. That is known as the inland drainage. Yes, of course. And the next come is water divide. I have a list of what topics I have to tell you. Now, water divide. What is the water divide? Actually, when the water is divided into two parts, like you might be knowing that, of course, the water is divided into many parts, and somewhere it joins to each other. So that is the thing I want to tell you, that water is always divided. It's not like a single river flows back to back, just small. Like it might have some obstacles in the way of the way of that river, and that obstacle is making the water divide. So this was all water divide. And now I want to talk about the drainage pattern. There are certain patterns how the drainage patterns are working. Like some patterns are the terrace pattern, means which is also known as the rectangular, I think so. Yes, of course. No, it is not rectangular. Please, of course, don't think about that. And the radial, the terrace, the radial, and the dendritic patterns. So first of all, I'm not going to be in deep, but the river, if you just think about it, the river is flowing. It doesn't flow back to back. It has some patterns. So that pattern is said to be the drainage pattern. So this drainage pattern is divided into dendritic, terrace, and the radial. So what is the dendritic pattern? So it is a very common pattern. We all know about it. Ganga river is a dendritic pattern river. Means if we talk about the Ganga river, it is flowing just back to back. I don't have a marker here, so I can mark it, but I forgot to take it off. But if the river is flowing back to back and it has no tributaries, you might have seen. So this is the most common one. Dendritic pattern is the most common one pattern, and we have seen several times. And for example, the Ganga river is the such kind of river. And now let me tell you the next is the terrorless pattern. What is the terrorless pattern? Terrorless pattern is a type of pattern in which the river makes its tributaries and which is formed at the 90 degree. So 90 degree, when the 90 degrees formed by the tributaries which have been formed by the river, so that is said to be what? That is said to be none other than the terrorless pattern. So for example, Narmada river is the best example for this. Now next is a radial pattern. So what is radial pattern? Radial pattern, like, think about it. There is a dome, alright? So that dome and what will happen? The water makes its tributaries and the water is divided into different directions. The different directions, like it is there being something which is like a water, like here's a book, GK book. Alright. So if we think about this is a dome, alright? So the water is flowing at the different directions. It doesn't have a single direction, like it is not westing to east, it is not to the west, it is not to the north, it is in the south. It is everywhere, north, south, east, west. And that is known as none other than as we have talked about, what was that? Yeah, I forgot that. But I was telling you and I forgot what is the topic. That is radial, sorry. So radial, this was a radial type of pattern. Now the water is also divided into course. Now what is courses? So I didn't remember to tell you that I have to tell you in this a pattern as well as the courses. So the water is divided into three courses. River water. Actually, remember this. So this is divided into three. That is upper course, middle course, and the lower course. So what will happen? If we talk about the upper course, what will happen? When the river flows from the mountain, so it takes some erosion. It always does erosion. Like like it brings silt with it, like it brings the soil with it, and that is said to be erosion. We have studied this in around the 6th or 5th class, and still I'm telling you. But remember this, that the river water which brings the soil and silt, it is done in the upper course. In the next, comes with the second, that the middle course. What will happen in the middle course? Actually, in the middle course, what will happen? It will form the floodplains, like meanders. It will form the meanders. In the middle case, like it is always being flowing. And it is not like that the erosion activity is not done in the middle course. It is done even at the lower course also. But what will happen? It will be done at the least amount as compared to the upper course. So in this middle course, there will be meanders, the formation of meanders, the formation of different types of the patterns, and many things will be here done between in this. And tributaries may also formed in this. And now we are talking about the lower course. What will happen in the lower course? Actually, I forgot. Let me tell you. In the middle course, there will be formation of the Georges. Sorry, in the upper course, there will be formation of Georges. George, remember? Georges, I am telling because S I am including because many type of Georges are there. Alright. So in the upper course, this George have been formed. Now, after a few times, I will tell you what is George. And after that, in the middle course, there Oxbow Lake and the meanders have been found. I will tell you in just a few minutes about what they are. And at the lower course, what will happen? It will form many deltas and the river will come into an end if it is not an inland drainage, as I have told you before a few minutes. So if the river is not an inland drainage river, so it will flow to its ending point. And at the ending point, there will be a lower course that will be found with the deltas like Ganga, Brahmaputra. The largest delta in the world is Ganga Brahmaputra delta at the West Bengal, yeah, of course, Sundarban, Sundari trees, yeah, of course, Sundarban, and that comes under the which type of vegetation, and that is none other than, if anybody asks you, that is mangrove. It is also known as mangrove, and yes, of course, monotona was before it. Yes, of course. So this was the thing that I want to tell you, and now we will talk about the George meanders and as well as one of the Oxbow lakes. So what will happen when the river flows back to back? So it forms one pattern. That pattern, you might have studied this sound of course, and in the 9th class sound there is a type of I don't remember, but the wave types, the wave flows. Like the high pitched voice comes like back to back, high pitched voice, but the low pitched voice comes slowly, like. Yeah, of course. So that slow pitched, like that only the pattern is formed. Like just think about it, how I just make the combination of physics and geography back to back. But yes, of course, geography has somewhere the physics have been applied, but Geography is geography. I have to teach you geography only. I have to tell you geography only. So let me tell you that this pattern is known as the none other than meanders. So in the middle course, what will happen? The river flows like this. All right. So type of pattern. I was talking about this type of patterns. So this pattern is known as meanders, and this is done in the middle course. Middle course, this type of patterns have been found. All right. At the upper course, what will happen? At the upper course, it will forms like something pattern, but it is bringing the erosion. Like there's been a mountain. Like here is a bundle of books. All right. Here is a single book. All right. Let's do it. I can't show you, or I can show you. Yeah, of course. So this is like that. All right. So just for an example, let's do it. And what will happen? If the water flows back to back, there's a mountain, and that mountain will bring some erosional activity. That will do with some erosional activities. Means silt deposit will be there. Means the soil will be brought by the river there. So that thing is known as being the upper course. Means the upper course, all the erosional activities have been done in the upper course, and always it forms with the gorge. The gorge is also being formed there. All right, and in the middle course, I told you this meanders will be found, the oxbow lakes have been found, and erosional activities will be done here, but at the less quantity, not at that much has been done in the upper coast. All right, now of course at the lower course, we're gonna talk about that there has been little bit they will form the delta, and the delta will be formed there, but no other thing will be there. All right, so this was the thing that I want to tell you. Now let me talk about the gorge. So what will happen? The gorge is something like this, which is having a we can say the breadth is less, but the deepness is more. Means it is deepened, and the water is collected in this. So that is known as gorge. By the flowing back to back of the rivers, this gorge have been found at the mountain side. Like I have told you that in the upper course this have been found. So the rivers, most of the rivers have been found from the river, from the mountain. So the mountain, the river brings with the erosional activity, as well as they form the gorge. All right. So meander is this. I told you this. Meanders are these things, and the oxbow lake is something like this. When the patterns are made back to back like this, so there is something like this have been formed. This is bow type of structure, and what will happen? The meanders somewhere broke down, and this type of structure have been found, and this is known as none other than the oxbow lakes. So oxbow lake is you can say a cut-in piece of the meanders, and that is one of the part of these things. So this was all the things I told you, and this was a huge introduction according to me. I hope you all have understood what I am trying to tell you. This was according to me drainage, and it was a proper introduction of drainage. Now the types of river I'm going to talk to you in the next video, and there will be types of videos. Now let me tell you a little bit revision, and this revision will be Hindi. First of all, ड्रेनेज क्या है? ड्रेनेज एक तरीके का वाटर सिस्टम जो अपने कंट्री का वाटर सिस्टम है. फॉर एग्जांपल गंगा रिवर. सो गंगा रिवर जो भी है वो एक तरीके का हमारे लिए वाटर सिस्टम है, तो वो एक तरीके का ड्रेनेज सिस्टम भी है, क्योंकि वाटर रिफर्स टू द ड्रेनेज एंड ड्रेनेज रिफर्स टू द वाटर सिस्टम एंड वाटर सिस्टम रिफर्स टू द ड्रेनेज सिस्टम. सो दिस वाज आई वांट टू टेल यू. एंड द नेक्स्ट थिंग्स कम इज द ड्रेनेज बेसिन. व्हाट इज ड्रेनेज बेसिन? द सिंगल रिवर व्हिच इज हैविंग डेल्टा, जो डेल्टा भी है जिसके अंदर ट्रिब्यूटरीज भी हैं, जिसके अंदर कई सारी, जैसे कि कोई बहुत बड़ा ऑब्स्टिकल है जिसके थ्रू जो रिवर था वो डिवाइड हो गया टू पार्ट में. जो भी हो रहा है रिवर के अंदर वो एक रिवर बेसिन है. पूरा रिवर सिस्टम एक रिवर बेसिन है. मींस गंगा एक रिवर, गंगा बेसिन है, गंगा रिवर का गंगा बेसिन. ऑलराइट. सो नेक्स्ट इज इनलैंड ड्रेनेज. इनलैंड ड्रेनेज क्या है? जब कोई वाटर बॉडी मतलब कोई भी रिवर की एंडिंग नहीं होती है. फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने लूनी बताया आपको राजस्थान में, जिसका जो एम्प्टी हो जाती है ड्यू टू हाई इवेपोरेशन पॉइंट इज having a lot of temperature and surface tension. Many things I have studied in the evaporation, that surface tension, humidity and temperature and the winds, many things are responsible. So these things are responsible for Luni river also. वो क्यों evaporate हो गई, ये कुछ उसके तरीके रीजन है. शायद टेम्परेचर और जो उसके विंड है, सरफेस टेंशन है, और यही सब उसके पीछे भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. और इसका एक पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम्पल मैंने आपको दिया लूनी. और इनलैंड ड्रेनेज जैसे कि अभी मैंने उसका एक एग्जाम्पल और भी दिया कि अगर मान लीजिए बिहार अगर एक तरीके का ऐसा है नहीं, डेजर्ट हो जाए, तो अभी वाटर आपका रिवर गंगा क्या होगा, वो भी एम्प्टी हो जाएगा, तो उसका कोई एंडिंग पॉइंट नहीं होगा, वो बे ऑफ बंगाल में नहीं फ्लो करेगा, फ्लो डाउन करेगा. सो यही मेरा एक्सप्लेन करने का एक पूरा वे है. मैं यही एक्सप्लेन करना चाहता हूँ आपको कि ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट था. फिर मैंने आपसे बात किया कि व्हाट इज ड्रेनेज टाइप ऑफ पैटर्न्स. ड्रेनेज पैटर्न जिसमें मैंने आपको कई तरीके के पैटर्न बताया. डेंड्रियाटिक पैटर्न ये बहुत कॉमन पैटर्न है जो कि गंगा रिवर में फाउंड किया जाता है, जो कि जस्ट अराउंड लेट मी टेल यू दिस टाइप ऑफ पैटर्न is known as dendritic pattern. Means dendritic you all have studied about this. The terralis, ये terralis क्या है? Terralis के अंदर जो भी tributaries निकलती हैं वो 90 डिग्री के ऊपर निकलती हैं. Means something like this. Just think about it. All right. So, for example, I have Narmada River with it, and the radial, it is something dome-like, and the water flows here at the different direction. It is not flowing in the north, it is not flowing in the south, it is flowing in the both north, south, east, west सब में. So ये है डोम पैटर्न पे जब ऐसा कुछ होता है, तो इसे हम कहते हैं रेडियल पैटर्न. सो ये था हमारा टोटल रेडियल और पैटर्न, टाइप्स ऑफ पैटर्न. अब इस पैटर्न के अंदर थ्रू आते हैं कोर्सेस. कुछ कोर्सेस हैं जैसे कि अपर कोर्स, मिडिल कोर्स एंड लोअर कोर्स. अपर कोर्स में क्या होता है? अपर कोर्स में इरोजनल एक्टिविटी होती है, मतलब वो अपने साथ सॉइल लाते हैं, अपने साथ जितने भी मिट्टी होती है, मिट्टी लाते हैं, सिल्ट लाते हैं, और बहुत ही फर्टाइल होता है वहां का एरिया. सॉरी, माउंटेन एरिया है वो फर्टाइल नहीं होता है, लेकिन जो सिल्ट डिपॉजिट आता है वो फर्टाइल होता है. सो आई एम गोना टेल यू दैट. एंड ये इरोजनल एक्टिविटी धीरे धीरे करके इरोजन फॉर्म करके और फिर वेदरिंग करती है. अब ये मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है आप लोगों को. या फिर ये हो गया आपका. और फिर हम बात करते हैं मिडिल, और जिसमें जॉर्ज बनते हैं. जॉर्ज क्या होते हैं? ये डीप एंड होते हैं और वेथ इनकी कम होती है थोड़ी सी. इनके अंदर वाटर कलेक्टेड हो जाते हैं. जॉर्ज मोस्टली फाउंड होते हैं एट द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द अपर कोर्सेस. और फिर उसके बाद आते हैं मियांडर्स, मतलब मिडिल कोर्स. मिडिल कोर्स में ऐसा नहीं होता है, मिडिल कोर्स में मियांडर्स फाउंड होते हैं, ऑक्सबो लेक होती है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता कि इरोजनल एक्टिविटी नहीं होती. होती है लेकिन बहुत कम होती है. अब शायद बुक में ना अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया हो, लेकिन मैं आपको बता दूं बहुत कम होती होगी एज कम्पेयर टू दी अपर कोर्स. ठीक है. एंड ये था टोटल आपका जो मैं बताना चाहता था. ये पैटर्न्स के बारे में आपको बताया मैंने. फिर जॉर्ज हो गया. मैंने आपको जॉर्ज सॉरी लोअर कोर्स नहीं बताया. लोअर कोर्स में क्या होता है? जो कि रिवर जब एंडिंग पॉइंट पे जाने लगता है तो डेल्टा फॉर्म करता है. सो डेल्टा फॉर्म, जैसे कि वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट डेल्टा है गंगा ब्रह्मपुत्र डेल्टा, दैट इज एट द सुंदरबन. सुंदर ट्रीज हैव बीन फाउंड देयर. मैंग्रोव फॉरेस्ट, मैं रटा नहीं हूँ, मुझे भी याद है इसलिए बता रहा हूँ. सो ये था टोटल पॉइंट. और इसके बाद मैंने आपको बताया जॉर्ज क्या होता है. जॉर्ज डीपेन होता है, वही मैंने कुछ देर पहले बताया. फिर मियांडर क्या होता है? ये पैटर्न को मियांडर कहते हैं, जो कि मोस्ट कॉमन है. डेंड्रियाटिक पैटर्न एक तरीके का होता है. एंड ये एक चीज है. और ये डेंड्रियाटिक पैटर्न जैसे कि ये क्या होते हैं? ये ट्रिब्यूटरीज पे फाउंड होते हैं. लेकिन ये रिवर जब होता है, जब रिवर मिडिल कोर्स में आता है तो उसके ऊपर ये होता है. और फिर जब कट हो जाता है रिवर, जब ऐसे ही फाउंड, जब मियांडर खूब सारे चलते हैं और फिर जब रिवर कट हो जाता है तो इस कट को हम ऑक्सबो लेक कहते हैं. सो ये भी एक तरीके का फीचर है, आपको ये सब जानना चाहिए. एंड यही सब है. एंड आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट दिस. नाउ लेट मी टेल यू दैट इंडिया में क्या है ड्रेनेज पैटर्न. अब ऐसे भी 20 मिनट्स होने वाले हैं, तो लेट मी कंप्लीट द 20 मिनट्स. इंडिया का जो ड्रेनेज सिस्टम है वो दो पार्ट में डिवाइडेड है, जबकि हिमालयन एंड वन इज अकॉर्डिंग टू मी पेनिनसुलर और समथिंग प्लेटू लाइक. Yes, of course, something like this. I have not seen it properly, but remember that the Himalayan one is important. There are 3 rivers in the Himalayan. I will tell you just back to back about this. And those 3 rivers are the Ganga one. The Ganga is there, and one is Indus River and the Brahmaputra River. Indus River start from the Mansarovar Lake and flows down in the around the yes, of course. I remember Mitha something in Pakistan. Yeah, of course, it is just collected there. And one is in the next video we will talk about these things. But remember, please do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, like, comment and share. That is very important. And और ये नसु की वीडियो आपने अगर नहीं देखी तो जाके जल्दी से देखिए और बहुत सारे लोगों को शेयर करिए, जिसमें बहुत सारा व्यूज है. जैसे कि अभी थोड़ा अप्रिसिएशन हुआ है, मुझे और अप्रिसिएशन चाहिए. सॉरी, आई एम लिटिल बिट सेल्फिश, थोड़ा सेल्फिश हो गया. लेकिन मैं बस यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि थोड़ा सा मैं स्टार्टिंग में जब वीडियो बनाता था तो मैं बहुत ही डरा सा रहता था एंड नर्वस रहता था थोड़ा सा. बट नाउ इट्स गुड. We have made our own comfort zones. मेरा comfort zone मैं इंग्लिश में आपको समझाता हूँ, आपको समझ में आता नहीं है तो आप कमेंट कर सकते हो, मैं फिर हिंदी में ही बनाऊंगा. एंड अगर हिंदी में नहीं समझ में आता है तो फिर मैं इंग्लिश में बनाऊंगा. स्पीड कम है अब मेरे, सॉरी, मैं इतने इससे ज्यादा स्पीड नहीं स्लो कर सकता. एंड शायद मैं कर सकूँ फ्यूचर में, मैं ट्राई करूंगा. डेली जब भी मैं पढ़ाई के बाद थोड़ा टाइम निकालता हूँ तो उसमें ट्राई करता हूँ कि मैं थोड़ी अपनी स्पीड स्लो कर सकूँ एक्सप्लेन करने की. बट मैं क्लास भी जब भी मुझे टाइम मिलता है एक्सप्लेनेशन का, जब भी मुझे कोई बुलाता है कोई टीचर एक्सप्लेनेशन, तो भी मैं इतना ही फास्ट करता हूँ, भले किसी को समझ में ना आए, मुझे बहुत समझ में आता है. एंड ये सब कोर्स मैं आप ही के हक के लिए चला रहा हूँ. सो आई हैव टू स्पीड लिटिल बिट लेस माय स्पीड्स एंड द फ्लो ऑफ माय स्पीड. So thank you for watching this video, and please, if you have not watched any video of the YouTube channel, so please first of all go and subscribe our YouTube channel, then like, comment and share, and please press the bell icon so that you can get our videos earlier. If after 2 weeks, 3 weeks I post my videos, so you can watch that video. So yes, of course, and thank you for watching.